For 12 hours, they've been holed up together, but tonight are the Cabinet finally in the same place on Brexit. Stealing them away to her remote country residence, Theresa May seems to have avoided her own isolation. As the Prime Minister claimed this evening, she'd struck a deal.
Well, in detailed discussions today, the Cabinet has agreed our collective position on the future of our negotiations with the EU. And our proposal will create a UK-EU free trade area, which establishes a common rulebook on industrial goods and agricultural products.
So despite the warning lights flashing when the cars arrived this morning, in the end 28 ministers are said to have come to one view on Brexit. The so-called common rulebook of EU regulations would allow free trade in goods, but not in services. There'd also be a facilitated customs arrangement, meaning Britain sets its own tariffs and collects the EU's on its behalf. Britain will still have to take into account the decisions of the European Court of Justice, and while freedom of movement will end, there'll be special treatment for EU migrants. If that sounds like the Brexiteers have been locked into a soft deal here, well, the critics aren't going too hard, perhaps because they still think there's an escape.
So far, the EU has said they won't do this sort of deal. Now, I don't see them changing their mind on that, so we have to be prepared to do a deal on global trade rules and, WTO rules and actually say to the EU, well, if you aren't going to agree to this and you aren't going to agree to this pretty quickly, then what we've got to do is come out, tell our businesses we're coming out with a global trade deal.
At the moment, we only have the Prime Minister's word on what's been agreed here, because nobody else has been allowed to utter one. They all had their phones confiscated this morning and won't get them back till they leave. At which point, several other versions of today's deal may well emerge. And even if the Prime Minister has got agreement back home, she'll still need it abroad. But already the EU's warning against her plan to pick the best bits of membership.
The single market is at the heart of the European project. It is a source of opportunities and prosperity. But it is not, and it should never be, only as a big supermarket.
Theresa May can at least claim progress here today, but while the sun sets on a deal, it may well look different in tomorrow's light. Paul Brand, News at 10, Chequers.